Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, guys. How are you? Hope everyone is doing well. So here we are, week number 2 when it comes to principles of management. So you guys had a good sort of week to kind of get used to the system. Essentially what we did, just to recap from last week, week number 1, is you completed your syllabus quiz. If you're looking at me going like, what is that? It's basically was a couple questions saying you understand how this class works, and that verified that you are in class and ready to go. So if you didn't do that, you most likely got dropped from this class and no longer are in class, unfortunately. So I recommend you get with your advisor, whoever your advisor is, and try to sign up for the class for B term. Excuse me, guys. We did that. We did 2 chapters, chapter 1 and chapter 2. You did your discussions. You replied to this video. You replied to 2 classmates. You put up your own discussion, and voila, that's what a week will look like. So we are entering week number 2. So week 2 is going to be pretty much exactly the same. You're going to work on chapter 3, chapter 4, and we're going to be talking about ethics in our discussion. I posted a quick video about ethical perspectives, but I need you to read the chapter so you understand this concept. So what is ethics? So you in business management will eventually take a class in ethics, and you're going to talk about this whole concept for an entire semester. But in our class, just for the introduction of ethics, we're going to discuss your ethical perspective. So you're going to read the different ethical perspectives, and then you're going to tell me what you lean towards. Now, I want to say that there's no way possible that I understand that anyone can live in one specific ethical perspective. It's very difficult to be that rigid. So some of us will eventually, in many cases, will make decisions based upon what's called egoism. And egoism behavior really maximizes how the consequences impact me, like egos, right? Like what it does for me. So some of us make those decisions consistently and maybe lean towards that all the time. Like, how does it benefit me? And I understand it. Ethics is not about being right or wrong. It's about how you make a decision. Now, there are some people that have bad ethics, yes. And in business, we discuss this topic because you will consistently make decisions that are not clear. They're not black or white. They're in the gray area, and you have to kind of decide and decipher what's best in those situations based on your ethical perspective. And that's why we bring this to the forefront for you to understand that ethics plays a role in an everyday decision. So some of you make decisions based on what's called utilitarianism or utilitarianist. And what it does is it looks what's best for everyone. And sometimes we make that choice based upon the concept like, you know what, I want to be fair. I want everyone to benefit, the maximum benefit for everyone. And those situations will come up, and then sometimes those situations are not good, and they're not good for you or for someone that you love. So I'll give you an example of an ethical perspective or an ethical dilemma that you will have to choose in life. Well, not in life, but in this scenario. So you can put yourself in a position where you go, how would I make this decision? So there's a train track, and you are a person that's controlling a lever, right? And the train's gonna either turn left or it's gonna turn right. And you are the person that's in control of left or right. There's no brakes. There's no way to stop. All right. And if you go left, you see there's a child on the track. Now, there's no way to save the child. There's no way to stop the train. You have to make a decision. You're either going to go left and kill the child, or you're going to go right and kill 10 adults. So I know. Many of you go, I can't do it. I can't kill a child. And other people go, I can't kill 10 adults. You have to kill someone. The train's going to hit someone. It's up to you. You're going to make a left or a right. All right. That puts you in an ethical dilemma to try to get through a mental process of why you would make that decision. Some of you might be what's called deontological thinkers, deontological ethics, and say to yourself, well, there's no way, and deontologically thinking, it's like a dios. It's called in the Greek term dios, or many of you might recognize that from the Spanish word Dios, which is God, like a higher power dictating your decisions. And some people live based upon those ethical perspectives. Hey, there's no right or wrong here. It's just about how you process the information. And that's what I want you to get to. I want you to analyze yourself and discover why you make the decisions that you make. I'm not judging them. I just want you to get to a point where you go, this is why I make this choice. All right, so write why you make your decision. What's your ethical perspective leaning towards most of the time? There's several of them: utilitarianism, relativism, virtue ethics, universalism. There's a bunch of different ethical perspectives and theories, and you should learn about them, because I want you to identify yours. And the reason why we do this is because this class is not about just grabbing information and being like, oh, that's cool. It's about self-discovery. If you're going to be in management, if you're going to run a company, if you're going to run a department, if you're going to manage people, this is very important for you to understand why you make those decisions. Because maybe you're not directing a train, but you'll be directing budgets. And who you give a raise to and why will be decided based on your ethical perspective. Do you give a raise to the single mom because you feel bad for that person? Or do you give the raise to the single successful guy that works very hard? And then you're going to be like, here's money. Give the money to whoever you want as a manager. And then you go, well, what do I do here? How do I split it evenly? Is that fair? Do I give it to the single mom because I feel bad for that single mom who's trying? Or do I give it to this guy that's a hardworking single guy that might not need the money, but he earned it and he deserves it? So those are the ethical dilemmas we face in business every day. So, and not to mention all the other ones that where this isn't illegal, but should we be doing this? Is this right? This isn't, technically illegal to do, but do I feel comfortable doing it? So those are the questions that we face every day in the business world. All right. So I'm excited to read your post. I'm reading through it. Hey guys, here's another thing. I read through every single discussion. So please make sure you're putting emphasis and effort into your discussions, because I do read every discussion. That's how I know you're learning, because I read your posts. If you just post some just jibber jabber, I'm gonna grade you bad. So all the other stuff is probably easier for you because you can find that information online. But a discussion where you have an educated discussion over a topic, that's how I know you're learning. What else, guys? So here's the coffee for the day. I'll see if I get it up here. Yeah, there we go. It's called Stormio. It's from the Nespresso brand, as I have mentioned. It's this, I don't know if you can see that, but it's the Nespresso brand. Coffee is that machine back there, right there. Very good quality coffee. I do have the K-Cup, but it's okay. It's every now and then. A couple of you, I've seen you put up there your favorite cup of coffee is a Bustelo. Bustelo is a great cup of coffee. As I mentioned before, I married a Puerto Rican, so very familiar with the Bustelo brand. We do have Jonathan, who is a half Puerto Rican and half Guatemalan, which is essentially what my kids are. They're half Puerto Rican because my wife's Puerto Rican, and now, of course, my heritage is Guatemalan. So very familiar with the mix of a Puerto Rican Guatemalan household. But a couple of people, Chloe, I've met Chloe before. She was able to attend the church with her family when we had the church open. Jonathan as well. So a lot of you I've seen in the past, I've known, but if we haven't met in person, please, if you see me out and about somewhere, stop me and just say, hey, I'm in your class. Love to get to meet my students. I think it's wonderful to get to see everybody out and about. I visit Rome quite frequently. I'm in Chattanooga, Ringgold area. And then, of course, I live in Calhoun. So if you're in Calhoun and you see me out and about, feel free to stop me and say, hey, I'm in your class, Mr. Argueta. Most of the time, I'm either with my wife or one of my kids, and I can introduce you to them. I'm very open. I'm a very public person. I don't hide from my students. Many of you thank me for posting the videos. I think this is a great way to connect with people. I obviously am a public person. I don't hide my history. You can find my information online. You can find who I am. This is who I am, guys. I've been in the public eye for a bit, so it doesn't scare me to get to know everybody and get everyone to know me. What else can I tell you? It's been beautiful outside. I just got back from New York. I left Sunday and I flew back yesterday night. Went out there and did some stuff, and then I'll be going out again on Tuesday of next week, and then returning Wednesday or Thursday. But after that, it kind of slows down for me. I have a trip scheduled for Chicago in September 10th. Visit my buddy who's getting married out there. So anyhow, that being said, I hope you guys are enjoying a good cup of coffee today. I hope you're enjoying the weather. It's been decent, not crazy hot as it usually is, but stay hydrated, guys. It's very hot sometimes, and it's a matter of you just trying to stay healthy. Other than that, guys, I will see you next week in this form. I will discuss what's going on. I'm excited to see what you have in your post, and it only gets better. So we're talking about some organizational macro elements in business, and in chapter 4, we'll be discussing, of course, ethics. So guys, have a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful week. I appreciate all your statements and comments. We'll be talking soon. Take care.